for coming to my channel where we discuss anything and everything to do with mental health. If you're new here, welcome, and if you've been here before, thank you for coming back. In today's video we're going to be talking about my experiences and my journey to becoming a cognitive behavioural therapist. And yes, I will be exposing my grades. And I'll also give you a timescale of how long things took, how much experience or education I do have. So we shall start at 2010 and my GCSEs. For my GCSEs, I got 9 GCSEs. They weren't anything special, just the mandatory subjects that I had to do at the school that I went to. I only got 1 A, which was in health and social care. Got a few Bs, but most of my grades were Cs. Then went on to doing A levels at the same school. There I got to pick 4 subjects and I chose philosophy and ethics, psychology, art and design and forensic science. So forensic science was technically a subsidiary diploma. I know, random topics. At AS I had to actually drop psychology because I got a D in psychology, which meant that I couldn't continue it into the next year. So for A2 I was doing philosophy and ethics, art and design and forensic science. And there's a plot twist. I planned to do fine art at university. I wrote my personal statement around fine art and all I needed to get in was actually a portfolio. I think around March I had 5 interviews and I got all 5 positions, all unconditional offers. Then came results day and I saw my grades and it said I got an A and a distinction. I was shocked and I'm gonna be honest, I was quite freaked out. I just had this image of being a struggling artist and I was just like, how am I going to make money? How am I going to pay the rent? And so then I had the sensible idea of applying for psychology.
What was 18-year-old thinking, because psychology is not secure and does not lead to a profession. So I know technically it does, but you have to do a master's and all of those things, but I thought I would get a job after it because I did not know what psychology was, clearly. I knew what it was, I just didn't know what I was signing myself up for.
Through clearing, I applied to 2 universities. I have 2012 till 2016. And I know what you guys are thinking, that calculates to 4 years. And I took slightly longer than other people. In my 3rd year, I took a gap. I only had 3 exams to do, so I just did those 3 exams. Overall, I got a 2-1. I did get a first in all the important subjects. And I always highlight that in my CV. And if you got a first in anything, highlight it in your CV. A first in clinical psychology, psychobiology and advanced research methods. So during my undergrad, when I was doing it full time, I only did voluntary experience. Why I did voluntary work over paid experience is that I did it as and when I wanted.
Because I know undergrad is a bit full on and could barely make deadlines, so let alone just getting experience.
4th year I was working part-time. So I worked as a support worker in a supported living accommodation. Then I graduated in 2016.
Originally I was applying for jobs.
I wasn't getting anywhere.
I was being very narrow in my search because I was just like, oh, these are the jobs I want, so these are the only jobs I'm going to apply for. Because I was looking for assistant therapist jobs, psychologist jobs. I didn't have any postgraduate experience and that's what these jobs wanted.
I broadened my search and just started applying for anything and everything. So my first postgraduate job was healthcare assistant in an inpatient CAMHS eating disorders unit. Though I was a HCA on a CAMHS eating disorders unit, I also got to experience general CAMHS, adult eating disorders, general psychiatry, addictions treatment program and addictions, veteran mental health, personality disorders. I got to experience a range of things, if that makes sense. So I left there and I went to physical health. And so I was an occupational therapy assistant, graduated in 2016 and I was an occupational therapy assistant in 2018. But I think it's important to note that throughout this period I kept applying for things and I kept seeking new opportunities because I never wanted to get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable in this role. So throughout this period I'm still applying for assistant psychologist posts. Saw the applications and I was just like, I'm just gonna apply, see what happens.
So I applied. Does this seem familiar?
2 years later, just like I was after I graduated, I was applying and applying, still getting rejected, and to this day I've never got an assistant psychologist post.
I'm not bitter about it, just act like I'm not bitter about it, but anyway.
I hit the point of frustration because I think the thing was, okay, you don't have enough experience, but now I have 2 years worth of experience and I'm still not getting anywhere. I felt like, oh, you have to get assistant psychologist post to actually progress in a career in psychology. I don't know where that came from.
And that was just something that was in my mind. I don't know where that came from.
Then I was getting increasingly frustrated with the process and like, why am I not progressing?
But even the frustration is coming back to me. But I wasn't like just doing the same thing, so I wasn't just saying what do I need to like almost help me in this process. So I was just like, okay, like, oh, this is like the advice I'm giving me, let me adapt. This is information I've got and let me adapt. And I'm progressing, but I still wasn't getting a job, so...
I hit the point of, you either make this work or mental health is not for you. I was just like, okay, I'm going to apply for something. Don't know if I'll get in. Maybe I had a strong feeling I wouldn't. But let me just do like one last try. Then I can say, okay, it's worked out, I'll leave mental health.
I don't know if I was that serious about that.
So when I was looking at postgraduate courses, I didn't want to do something academic. I was pretty certain on that because I do not want to get stuck in the same position that I'm in now or the same position I was in 2 years ago. CBT was actually the first thing I looked into. I only applied to 2 universities. One was Bolton and one was Buckinghamshire New University. Had the interviews and got both places. Bolton was starting in January. Bucks was starting a week after my interview. I chose to go to Bucks and also it was closer to home. Then I had to tell my workplace and well, I was unemployed. So they couldn't make my post part-time and I had to choose between my Band 2 occupational therapy assistant post or my course. In all honesty, because it took so much for me to actually apply, I did go back and forth quite a lot.
But what if I don't get in? Then the reality is going to set in that I have to leave mental health and I'm going to do something else. And that like, this experience an emotional moment. Because I'm so, that is weird. So because I'm so passionate about mental health, the idea of not working in mental health is quite, yeah. Don't you want to think about it? So I'm so passionate about mental health and I'm so passionate about helping people and supporting people and like not even like service users, like anyone. So if it's my like co-worker, if it's someone trying to get into mental health or trying to follow a career path, if I can, I will help you. And I will go above and beyond for people. I just feel like me and working in mental health was meant to be anyway. So embarrassing, but I'm probably just going to keep that in just for, you know, contain yourself. Okay.
So after graduating in November 2020, I've now got a master's in cognitive behavioural therapy and I am a qualified CBT therapist. At the age of 26, graduating in November, I began focusing on getting a job and getting accredited. And January, with a new year, I started a new job. Now I'm working in a Tier 3 CAM service. 9th of February 2021, I was accredited as a cognitive behavioural therapist, so now I am a BABCP accredited therapist, which is amazing. So much exciting stuff is happening. So I got through that 2 years in a Band 2 job to 2 years later becoming a Band 7 cognitive behavioural therapist who is accredited, and I started sharing my experiences and I feel like almost it's come full circle. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. I hope you guys enjoy watching. Bye guys, and I'll see you in the next video hopefully.